All right, hey guys, today we are going to finish lesson 9.4. It's more working with volume. So you need to have open your math book and your calculator as we work through this lesson. So quick little warm up, if you guys kind of think about this. It says the area of this triangle is 60. Could you find me what the height is? So I do not know the height. So using what you know about triangles, could you find me the height? I want you to pause and try this question. All right, so I'm going to kind of think about what I know. I know the area formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So if I know the area is 60, I know the base is 10, don't know the height, and I know I have to divide by 2. Think about if I was trying to solve this. I need to figure out this number here, 10 times something, and then if I divide by 2, gets me to 60. Okay, now I could think about solving this and think, well, what's the opposite of dividing by 2? What if I times both sides by 2? Now I got 120. 10 times something is 120. If I divide by 10, I end up with a height of 12. So I kind of worked backwards to solve that. Now let's just check it. If I do 10 times 12, that's 120. And then if I divide by 2, because it's a triangle, I end up with 60, which is what my problem was. So we're going to use that kind of reasoning today as we solve our problems. Our learning goal for today is we're still learning about volume, and we're still going to be able to find the volume of a prism and a pyramid, but today we're going to find missing dimensions when I'm given the volume of a pyramid or prism. So today I'm going to give you the volume. You're going to have to find me the height or the area of the base. So before we get going, let's just do a quick refresher. If I have a prism, remember, here's my formula. Area of the base times the height. If I have a pyramid, which comes to a point, my volume is the area of the base times the height, and I divide by 3. So if you guys can open your math book to page 480, we're going to try this one. Now you might just have to go on the side to find this. So I'm going to tell you, I have a pyramid here, and I'm going to tell you that the volume is 180 inches cubed. Okay, I'm also going to tell you that here's how long the base is, 10 by 9. I want to know, can you find the height? So I don't know the height. So this is how I always start. I always write down the formula first. It's a pyramid, so I know the formula is area of the base times the height divided by 3. I want you to pause the video and I want you to fill in what you know. Everything in this problem up here that they told you, fill in the things you know. All right, so first thing, I know the volume. So instead of a V, I'm going to put 180. Okay, I know the 3, that stays there. The area of the base, that capital B, remember, means area of the base. Well, here's my base. You should be able to find the area of that. That's 90. Okay, and then I need to times by the height. I don't know the height. That's the only thing that's missing. So I'm going to draw my line down and try to solve this. Okay, so the first thing, I don't like that 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to do the opposite of dividing by 3. I'm going to times both sides by 3. So I'm grabbing my calculator. I'm doing 180 times 3, which is 540. Equals, the 3's are gone over here, I have 90 times h. My last step is I'm going to divide both sides by 90. So I'm doing 540 divided by 90, and I end up with a height of 6. So my height of that pyramid is 6 inches. And I just worked backwards to find a missing dimension. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. So if you go to page 480, I want you guys to try this pause and reflect question. So read through it, pause the video, try it. Okay, so it says if I have a pyramid, first of all, I'm going to write down my pyramid formula. Okay, it comes to a point. It says if I give you the volume, so if I give you this number, what else must I give you in order to figure out the area of the base? Well, if you want to find that, you have to know one other thing at least, so I would have to know the height. Okay, if I knew that and that, I could find the area of the base. That's what we're going to do next. Okay, so our next one, let's go to page 481. We have, this looks like a trapezoidal prism. So if you look at this, remember we talked about, it's a prism because it has sides that are rectangles. You guys can see the rectangles. I'll kind of trace them right now, right? All these rectangle sides, even on the bottom. And then the bases are the 2 sides that are the same. Okay, so I see a base here, if you guys can trace that, and then this base in the back here. Okay, now that looks like a trapezoid. So I'm just gonna kind of draw that out over here. Trapezoids are the hardest one, so that's why I wanna do this one together. So if this is the volume formula, it's a prism, it's area of the base times the height. Okay, so let's kind of read through this. I know the volume of this prism. It's 195.075 equals. Okay, I know the height of the prism. It's 7.65. Remember, the height has to connect those two trapezoids. So my height is 7.65. I want to know, can I find the area of the base? So I can just leave that be there, actually. So could I find the area of that base? So I'm going to rewrite this. I have 195.075 equals, I'm going to write 7.65 times b. So if I want to get the b by itself, I'm going to divide by 7.65, divide by 7.65, and I get the area of the base. I'm going to type that in real quick. Is 25.5. Okay, now I'm just going to read the question just to make sure. It says, what is the area of the base? That's all I need. So 25.5. I don't actually have to do anything else. I just wanted the area of this trapezoidal base. All right, let's go to page 481 and try the check. So first thing, it says it's a pentagonal prism. As soon as I see the word prism, I'm going to write down the formula for volume. So that is, all right, let's try the next one on page 482. So we have a pyramid, and it has a square base with sides that are 15 inches long. So this is just a model. It says if the volume of the model is 675 square inches, what is the height of the model? So first thing, just find a little space to write this down. It can be on the side of your book, but you always start by writing the formula. So I know it's a pyramid. It comes to a point. So I know my formula is area of the base times the height divided by 3. Okay, right now I want you to pause the video. Fill in anything that you know. Okay, so the first thing I know is I know the volume. It tells me the volume. So instead of a V, I'm going to put 675 equals. Okay, I can keep the divided by 3. I do not know the height. Okay, the B, remember that stands for area of the base. Okay, so if you look at this, it says it's a square base. So you guys should know how to find the area of a square. It is length times width. So 15 times 15 would give me the area of the base. So if I do that, that is 225. Okay, and now here's my formula. I'm going to kind of rewrite it a little bit better. So I have 675 equals 225h divided by 3. So your first step to solve this equation is do the opposite of dividing by 3, which is timesing by 3. That gets rid of that, so I'm going to do 675 times 3. And I get 2025 equals 225h. Okay, your last step, opposite of multiplying, is dividing by 225. Divide this side by 225. And I end up with the height is 9. So the height of this pyramid right here on this model is 9 inches. All right, let's go ahead and try this next one on page 482. So typically I would tell you, if you guys are trying this one, to change these all to decimals, but we're not going to do that on this one right away, because if you try to change 5/6 to a decimal, so if you guys try to change that, grab your calculator, do 5 divided by 6. You're going to see it's not a nice decimal, so then we can't change it. So let's just kind of see what happens without changing it. So first thing, let's write the volume formula for a pyramid. It's area of the base times the height, and then you divide by 3. Okay, let's fill in what we know. I know the volume is 266 1/4 cubic inches. Okay, I know the 3. I do not know the height. The area of the base. Okay, so let's trace the base. Okay, here's my base. Looks like a rectangle. So I'm going to do base times height. I'm going to do 11 5/6 times 4 1/2. Okay, before I do that, again, find a little space off to the side. Let's change this to an improper fraction. So I'm going to do 6 times 11 is 66, plus 5 is 71/6. And then times, if I do 4 times 2 plus 1, I get 9/2. Okay, now we can go ahead and just multiply straight across. That's one way to do it. You could simplify too, but let's just go straight across. I get 639 over 12. I mean, 6 times 2 is 12. Don't add it like I did. Okay, now I'm going to check this and see maybe this is a nicer decimal than the other one when we tried it to start with. So I'm going to do 639 divided by 12. Good news, it is a nice decimal. It's 553.25. So that's the area of my base. Now I'm going to suggest we change this to a decimal then too. So 266 and a fourth, that's the same as 266.25 equals, now I have 53.25h over 3. Okay, I want you to go ahead and solve it the rest of the way. So pause the video and try to solve this. So first thing you should have done, opposite of dividing by 3 is timesing by 3. So I'm going to times that side by 3 too. So 266.25 times 3 is 798.75 equals 53.25h. So you want to get the h by itself, so I'm going to divide by 53.25 and divide by 53.25. So I'm going to type that in. I end up with the height is a real nice number, is 15. So the height of this pyramid is 15 inches. All right, so just a reminder, when you're reading through the problems, you're going to be trying some problems on your own. If it says it's a pyramid, the first thing you should do is write the formula. Area of the base times the height, and then remember it's divided by 3, because when I was pouring those pyramids into the rectangular prisms, remember 3 of them fit in there. If you just have a prism, remember you should write the formula. It's just the area of the base times the height. No dividing by 3. Okay, another quick refresher, if you run into a triangle and you have to find the area of a triangle, remember it's the base times the height, and then you divide by 2. Okay, so if I gave you this triangle here and that was the base, I would do 8 times 5 divided by 2. Okay, so those are just some formulas that you're going to want to use. So our learning goal for today was I'm learning about volume. So remember, volume is the inside of a shape. Hopefully you can find the volume of both a prism and a pyramid. And then today, our learning goal was that you can find missing dimensions if I give you the volume of a pyramid or prism. So now you're going to practice that. So now you guys are going to practice some problems. So you're going to go to the class kick that I assigned and try the problems. If you have questions, you can ask myself or the teacher, or put your hand up on the slides and I will try to give you some hints. We will continue working on this stuff next week.